This is CryptoTube. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm bringing you an NFT and DeFi crossover. Some have called this the Uniswap of NFTs, and it is NFT20 from the guys over at Very Nifty. This is a really cool one that I've had my eye on for a little bit of time now. Done some research, bringing it to you today. I've already brought this one to my followers over on Patreon. If you want to get involved with that, $5 per month, and I'll be dropping all the coins that I add to my portfolio over there first and foremost. And if you enjoy the content in today's video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. So the NFT industry has been bubbling away. Obviously, it had a huge correction and pullback after the mania phase we saw around March time with the Beeple $69 million sale. Since then, things crashed, they pulled back hard, but they're starting to really recover and recover quickly. We've seen the likes of Axie Infinity put in some huge gains recently and showing no signs of stopping. You can see over the last 7 days, numerous projects here with over 100% gains and some with the 80s and even 79% gains here from MUSE. MUSE is the governance token behind NFT20. So as of recording, currently 27 bucks. $18 million market cap, fully diluted valuation of just 27 million. You will see the max supply is 1 million tokens with 653,000 in circulation right now. If we pull up the last 30 days, you can see that this one is getting ready to really break out. But for me, this is a dollar cost average play. I will continue to add to this. I do think the price may come down a little bit more before we challenge the previous all-time high of around 124 bucks that we've seen in March. As the metrics in terms of user growth, the amount of transactions on their network, the amount of actual NFTs for sale, everything is going up for this platform. So I don't think it's going to be too long before we break these highs. But of course, we are reliant on Bitcoin sending us in the right direction. We need to see a lot more from the overall market before the NFTs can absolutely explode. But when things do happen, and I'm sure things will happen once again for the NFT industry, we'll see that second massive wave. This is one of the ones that I really think could do fantastically well. And I'm talking in terms of 10x plus from this token. Only around 4,000 holders at this moment in time as well, so clearly not hit the mass market appeal right now, but we're slowly getting there. So this was another thing that I talked about previously on my Patreon channel. We were looking at indexes, and one of the indexes that I really like the look of is MVI, the Metaverse Index, and this just has a broad basket of different metaverse or NFT based projects within it. And they got a special mention in this release from the month of June. So MUSE, Axie Infinity, and Rari rallied into double-digit gains over the last month, but then they gave special note to MUSE Token. So it says, taking a closer look at the tokens, we think it's worth touching on MUSE yet again. We covered it last month, but this project is still flying under the radar despite strong performance and solid fundamentals. The team deployed their NFT DEX on Polygon in May, and in June they received a grant as well as a promise of tech and marketing support from the Polygon guys. And of course, this will be on Ethereum layer 1 and also Polygon. And I think having that Polygon integration is very important for NFTs because it opens up a market much wider than the current one when you have pretty much free fee model. Polygon costs less than a fraction of a penny to send transactions. And so you could have NFTs that are valued very low actually trading and transacting, which makes a lot of sense. Clearly, you can't trade a $10 NFT if the gas fee is more than that cost. So they say fundamentally, NFT20 is seeing increased usage with steady growth in actions per day. You can see down here, we had the big blow off top in March when NFTs peaked out, but then since then we've seen the demise and then the slow recovery. So from June and moving into July, all the numbers have been going up. This is key across all their metrics. They are increasing gradually. So I'm expecting when we have this second wave, we can really eclipse the previous all-time high. Plus, on the tokenomics side for this is obviously a key ingredient. If you're holding the token, is there a benefit to you? And the answer is yes. So NFT20 doesn't charge swap fees, but it does take a 5% fee when a given NFT is tokenized. So it allows you to tokenize your NFT into like a derivative product. I'll show you what I mean in a sec when we go on to the actual marketplace. These fees, though, are taken in a newly created ERC20 representing the NFT. So, for example, hash masks become mask20 tokens. But a few weeks back, a proposal to swap some of the fees that are taken into ETH was passed. And then that ETH is used for on-market buyback of the MUSE token. And then that acquired MUSE token is then distributed to the MUSE stakers. So this now has genuine value accrual to token holders. So this is what really draws me into this one. It looks a quality project, as we'll see, and the product is there, but also the tokenomics are on point. So there was a peak in transaction volume here. So this was around the Bored Ape Yacht Club, kind of like FOMO area. There was a lot of movement in the market here, and a lot of people were trading Bored Apes. And on June 17th, this candle here, 5,900 MUSE were actually bought back and distributed to stakers. Currently, at that point, there was 108,000 stakers. So you can do the math on that and see that the APY is very healthy. So this is the actual product here, NFT Liquidity Protocol. You can see across the top, we got all the different assets. You can buy and sell. You can see your wallet by just connecting your wallet. Any NFTs that you've got sat in there will be visible, and you can potentially add them to here because you can create new pools. Like on Uniswap, it is permissionless. There's an FAQ section, a farm section, and documentation. So if we're just on this first page here, it says you can trade, swap, and sell your NFTs. So the first thing you could do is swap an NFT. So say you had a hash mask, you could select a hash mask here, and then you could swap that. Clearly I haven't got one in here. You could swap that directly for another hash mask by selecting it from there, or you can just trade ETH. I can use the ETH that's in my wallet to buy a random NFT. Maybe I'll try and buy a Bored Ape right now. You can just do this directly. So select, and then you can see the cost. I could just transact and swap 3.8 Ethereum for that Bored Ape. So this makes the buying and selling very easy, but there's a lot more to it. Let's go into assets here. So they've got a huge variety of assets now, and they're all categorized into the various subcategories. You've got your hash masks in here. We've got the likes of memes. We've got the likes of the Bored Ape Yacht Clubs, and so on and so forth. But just to go through the main pieces across here then, so you've got your hash masks, you've got your type of NFT, you can see how many NFTs are in the pool, and that is divisible by 100. So 134 times 100 is 13,400, because when you convert an NFT into the pool, you're given 100 of these tokens to represent your portion of that pool. So hash masks, you submit them and then they become mask20 tokens. You will receive 100 less the 5% fee, so you would receive 95 of these mask20s for each hash mask that you add to the pool. These are then tradable on Uniswap. You can go and find them over on Uniswap and trade them there. So there's an additional marketplace then created for these NFTs, more liquidity, and of course it gives them a floor price as well. So that was one of the issues with the NFTs. There was no floor price. They were illiquid, very hard to buy and sell, but now they've created the marketplace. And as the liquidity of these grows, as more people add their hash masks or other NFT types, this is going to create a more robust ecosystem and allows you to tap into different DeFi plays as well. So for example, you can think about converting your NFT into the underlying mask20 token version, then supplying that mask20 with some Ethereum over on Uniswap to generate some transaction fees, something you previously couldn't do with that NFT. So if we click into the hash masks here, you can swap one hash mask for 100 mask20s. You would receive 95 due to the fees of the network being 5% for doing this. And you can see all the different hash masks that are currently available down here. You can just click on one and press buy now as well. So easy shopping cart experience here. If we scroll right to the bottom, you can see the fees generated from the last 24 hours as well. So you can see currently it's going to be around $15,000 of fees generated. So these would go to stakers. Within buy and sell, as explained, you can just buy and sell between ETH or the NFTs directly. And this means that if you've got a hash mask that you no longer wanted, and there's a pool of hash masks on here, and maybe you like the look of one of these, you could come and swap your hash mask directly for another of these because they're all valued at the same, at 100 mask20. So this makes these non-fungible tokens very liquid and easily swappable for others. Clearly, you would not want to add one of these very rare hash masks into here because they're all given the same basic value of 100 mask 20. But this does create opportunity to look for ones that maybe are a little bit more rare than yours, swap them out, and then maybe go onto a secondary market like OpenSea and sell them on. There's also a create auction function where you can create a Dutch auction here. You can set in a starting price, a lowest price that you would take, and the duration. For this as well, there is a 5% fee, and that goes to the MUSE token stakers again. So lots of benefits for token stakers, and as this is in its infancy in terms of the age of this protocol and the potential upside for this to grow, I feel like holding this token is a bit of a no-brainer, as it's one of the potential picks and shovels of this industry. If we go over to the farm tab, on here you can actually see the various farms that are available. So if you go and get the LP token for, say, Bored Ape Yacht Club 20 and ETH, that LP token, because as stated, you can convert your Bored Apes into BAYC 20 tokens, split that 50-50 with some ETH, get the LP, deposit it here, and then get some MUSE rewards. So loads of different ways to earn on your NFTs by doing this. If we just scroll back up, this is where you need to stake to earn MUSE protocol fees. Currently 90,000 have been deposited. To stake, you need to approve about 4 transactions on here. Clearly with the ETH gas costs, it may be a little bit expensive to do that, but then you're going to earn a share of those protocol revenues, which I feel could go up quite a lot. The unstaking period for this is 10 days, but when you do unstake, you still receive the rewards until your unstake period, that 10 days has elapsed. So you're not penalized during that 10-day cool-off period. Then at the top here, you can switch to Polygon, but there's not as much liquidity at all on there at this moment in time. So hopefully they start to build that out, because if that could really take off with those low fees, it could be very exciting. But clearly ETH layer 1 is the main place to be right now. And of course, that is where you would get protocol revenues for MUSE staking, which is what I want to get involved with. So tokenomics wise, the MUSE token's primary utility is simple: serve as the governance token for the NFT20 DEX and as a means of broad exposure to the full range of the NFT ecosystem through its return of the transaction fees collected by the DEX to the token holders, aka you get value accrual. Holders of the MUSE token will also be able to receive a portion of the 5% transaction fees collected by the DEX and from those auctions, as I showed you. And they say this means holding MUSE gives you diverse and full exposure to the NFT industry through fees collected and returned in the form of various NFT20 created ERC20 tokens for those projects. 1 million tokens in total for this one. There was a fair launch where it was distributed via the very nifty V1 game. There is also around 300,000 MUSE being allocated for yield farming rewards, 100,000 to the treasury and 100,000 for team development over the first year, which takes us towards the back end of 2021. Another highlight of this protocol is the fact that they have investment from some good VC funds here. So 750K's worth of DAI was raised by Defiance Capital. These guys are one of the branches of 3 Arrows Capital, and they take a very much hands-on approach to their investments, which is great, and also Stake Capital. So a quote here from Arthur Ox, you may know him on Twitter. Defiance believes that NFTs are an improvement in asset ownership and will continue to see exponential growth. We're proud to support NFT20 in their vision to offer increased utility for NFTs and integrate NFTs into the broader DeFi ecosystem. We respect the team's strong ability to ship product and openness with their development processes. So this crossover between DeFi and NFTs is certainly something to definitely keep your eyes on, because I feel like this is going to be the future. Then if you need further red pilling on this, Bailey T here, who is one of the guys from Defiance Capital, put together kind of his investment thesis behind this, and he shares within this long thread exactly why they're very bullish on this and the power of NFT and DeFi integrations. They disclose that they've already invested here. You can easily access liquidity for the floor price of any of your NFTs, literally sell them very simply. If you're a collector, what you could do is buy up, say, 100 of these _20 derivative tokens. So like we saw the Mask 20s or the Bored Ape 20s. If you buy 100 of these tokens, say on Uniswap, that allows you to take out one of those NFTs from the pool at a later date. So you could do this on a speculative basis, that you believe the value of some of these NFTs is really going to skyrocket. Again, this just adds another way for investors and collectors to interact with this type of marketplace, and traders can also arbitrage between these pools and OpenSea for profit. I had a look at a few of these Bored Apes earlier, and these ones are ones that are available over on NFT20, and some of them have actually sold previously for decent prices. This one sold for 4 ETH last time out, and you could buy it directly on NFT20 right now for about 3.7 Ethereums. I tell a lie, it's roughly 3.4 ETH right now. So potentially there could be a way of scalping some profit out of these NFTs in a very simple way. If you were on OpenSea, you've got to bid for it and wait for someone to actually respond to you. But if you went onto NFT20, you can literally just buy it straight up for 3.4 ETH, and then you can just go and list it on here as well. So this is going to open up a big marketplace. You can see some of these are more rare than others. If you go into their properties, you can see their various traits. This one sold for a bit less last time out, 1.98 Ethereum in total. So if you're really into your collectibles and you start to really monitor these markets, I'm sure that there is good arbitrage opportunity available. And of course, through this as well, if you're just bored of your NFT, you could go and swap it for another one directly in the pool. They've also brought out flash loans for NFTs as well. So clearly the team behind this are innovative NFT wallets with one-click buy and sell. As I showed you earlier, you can literally pick them up very simply, add them to your shopping cart, and just check out at the prices shown. So someone posted, bought 4 NFTs of these chubby NFTs via a shopping cart with one click. You cannot do this shit anywhere else. So this guy was obviously very pleased with his purchases. They also highlight that the transaction volumes over on NFT20 have been rising consistently, and they believe that other collectibles, so say you've got a different type of collectibles out there, people will want to come and create these pools, because then it will give other users confidence to actually ape into these NFTs, because they know there will be liquidity on NFT20 to sell them back if they need to access those funds, which is an issue I'm sure a lot of people have been stuck with certain NFTs and literally no buyers for them. So this could be a very good thing for the industry at large. They highlight that MUSE can just be your de facto way of getting some exposure to this industry without having to pick your way through various NFTs or various protocols, because this could be one of those picks and shovels of the industry. Single-sided staking was just released, and this distributes those protocol fees as mentioned, and in total 6,000 MUSE, around 1% of the circulating supply, has already been bought back since mid-June. So I think the APYs are going to be super healthy, and they also give a nod in the right direction for the producers of the products being built out on here, and saying that these guys literally have chosen not to play decentralized theater, but rather take on a rapid experimental approach to create products with real usage, prioritizing real users rather than farmers. So the team behind NFT20 are also pretty baller. So maybe this will become the Uniswap of NFTs. It's certainly providing something very different in the industry. And when you have something different, something that's brand new, that kind of concept can really take off and take a life of its own. So the fact the market cap is so low at the moment and the NFT sector is expected to really boom and take off, I think it currently represents about 1% of the total market cap of all cryptos. I'm sure it's going to at least 10x over the course of this cycle, maybe even more. NFTs are definitely going to be a core feature of cryptocurrency going forward and the wider world. And this website here, NFT20, just seems to be growing all the time. I will continue to check in with this to see how developments improve, but I think that this one looks a very good bet to make some fantastic returns here. So let me know down below what you guys actually think of this one. Is this worth an investment or not? Make sure you do check out my Patreon. The link will be down below if you want to get the first scoop on all of these projects that I'm buying into. But that is all for today, folks. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.